Welcome to Yoga with Cynthia. I'm Cynthia Bialik and both the host and the producer for this program. Thanks for being with me today. Today we're doing yoga for better posture. So often, do people tell you, stand up straight? Did your mother say that when you were growing up? Do you find yourself coming away from your desk with neck and back pain? All of this can be due to poor posture that you're not aware of. How you hold yourself day in and day out can be a function of your stress level, or it also could be just a lack of awareness of what you're doing with your body on a regular basis. Especially when we're in a rush to get somewhere, we oftentimes lead with our head. We also sometimes speak to people with our head, so we wind up pulling our head forward. Because our head is so heavy, it tends to pull our shoulders forward and then tends to round our back. And then we lose the natural curves that are supposed to be in our back that help us to align ourselves, but also to help the rest of the muscles work the way they're supposed to work. So the synergy of all those muscles are sort of out of kilter as well. So what we're going to do today is start in mountain pose. In mountain pose, we can explore our posture from the bottom of our feet up. So as we explore our posture, we're going to line up our big toes, and if you do that, you're going to notice your heels are a little farther apart. And you're going to look at your feet as two triangle shapes. And you want to push into the wide part of the triangle. Your heel is the peak. And I want you to anchor on to the triangle, lift your toes up, and then pull the arches of your feet up. And as you do that, I want you to feel the kneecaps rise up. And now allow your tailbone to relax. I want you to pull the rib cage away from your waistline and roll the shoulders back a few times and then let everything just be. So I want you still to pull the kneecaps up, but try to relax the upper body so those shoulders are falling away from your ears. Now, if you're in right posture, you will not feel any strain in your neck because your head isn't pulling you forward and you're not feeling the shoulders rounding. Because your cervical spine is in the right position, those vertebrae are stacked appropriately, so there's no stress in the front or the back of your neck. So let's explore that. So I'm going to turn to the side. So if you can see now, if I pull my head forward, how it starts to round my shoulders, but it also takes the curve out of my low back. I also could wind up standing like this, pushing my hips back. If someone says, stand up straight, I could do this. Okay? That means the legs are locked. You want to unlock those legs and pull the kneecaps up and find that better posture. Okay? If you're pregnant or you have extra weight and your belly is pulling you forward, that could be another issue. You really have to pull the rib cage away from your belly, even if you have that extra fat that's pulling you forward. If you lift the rib cage, you can create more space and still improve your posture, even if you have a little bit more around the middle. So from here, we're going to move the feet back and forth in mountain pose. And now we're going to bring the arms straight out from our shoulders and give those hands a little spin. Now, if you're like most of the population, we're using our hands all the time, and our wrists sometimes get really tight. So when we perform our yoga poses, we're oftentimes bothered by the wrist pain. So I want you to push the heels of your hands straight out from the shoulders, so you feel a stretch through the biceps there. And then turn the hands in and stretch the top of those wrists. Okay? And now bring those hands up and lift the rib cage, but keep your shoulders relaxed. And we're going to move the right hand back as far as you can as you reach forward with your left arm. And then reach back with your left arm, back with your right. So this one simple exercise is really helpful to getting more range in the shoulders. Better range in the shoulders helps your posture because you don't feel that need to hold the shoulders in. You feel more free. Now we're going to start some twisting. So we're going to take that right arm up, open your hand, and turn to the right side of the room with your thumbs up. Let's bring both arms up in the air. Start to open the chest to the left. Look at the left side of the room. And come back up. Now let's really focus on our hips. See if we can independently twist the upper body, Pull up away from the rib cage. Keep those hips forward as we open to the right. And again, lift your rib cage up, twist to the left. And this time we're going to bring those arms and relax the shoulders down. Bring the arms back and press your thigh bones forward and lift the chest in the air. And this is called extending the spine, lifting the chest up as high as you can. And then bring your hands in prayer and sit those hips back. Now in chair pose, Utkatasana, mighty pose, where our goal is to actually axial extend the spine. So that's taking the curves out, but that's by elongating. So we're going to reach those arms up, pull the hips back at the same time. If you need to, bring those knees together just a little bit and sit back just a little further, but don't rely on the knees to hold you up. Keep stretching the arms away from the shoulders. Keep your gaze out in front of your mat. Now on the exhale, you're going to drop down and just hang. Now, if you can, grab those elbows and bring your head to your forearms. Stretching out those glutes, stretching out the back, stretching out the neck. Move your head back and forth. Now we're going to come back up. And once again, traction the spine. Interlace your fingers this time and bring the arms right up to your ears. Stay there, and we're going to make a circle with those arms. Just like you were a compass. So your hands are a compass, and you're moving that compass towards the ceiling, but encircling the mat. So allow your gaze to look down and then to look up, finding the natural progression. As you lift your chest up, you're going to start to reach forward a little bit more, getting more range to the lats, getting more extension in the spine. The progression is to make that circle a little bigger. Let's go the other way. Releasing all tension in the back. And again. All right, come to center. And let's step your right foot back behind you. And make sure that the left heel is facing the instep of your right foot. Bend that left knee. Keep the rib cage lifted. Draw the navel into your spine and bring the arms straight out from your shoulders. Now we're going to bring the arms behind you. Get an even greater stretch through the chest and the front of your shoulders. Look up in the air. And then we're going to pull forward towards the knee, and as you come down to the knee, you're going to drop that left shoulder on your knee and bring the arms straight up over your hips. Now if you can straighten that left leg, continue pulling the arms forward, stretching those shoulders a little bit more. Now drop the hands to the floor. Let the head continue to pull down towards your toes. And now open your right foot a little bit more. And we're going to try a pose called Uttiti Trikonasana. So let's line up those head with your foot. Pull the crown of your head over the front end of your mat. So that gives us nice length through the cervical spine, which is what most of us really need. You're going to pull the right hip up to the ceiling and then start to stack your right shoulder over your left while pulling the left thigh forward and then looking up in the air. Open that chest as much as you can and look up into your right hand. And this is Uttiti Trikonasana. Draw the navel into your spine. Keep reaching up with your right arm. Stay there. 2 more deep breaths. Then on the last exhale, we're going to return to the floor. Drop just down. Relax. Let's try that again. Deep breath in. Lift your chest and look up into your right hand. Now this time we're going to bend the left knee and come up into Virabhadrasana 2. Stretch the arms straight out from the shoulders. Look back over the right shoulder. And then airplane the arms around center. Lift off your right heel. And we're going to try to lead with the crown of your head. Continue tractioning the spine as we balance on that left foot, pushing back into the right heel. Bring your hands into prayer pose, and when you feel you're able, extend the arms out, just like we did in our mountain pose. Draw the arms to your ears, pushing back with your right heel. Keep those legs firm. Step back into your right foot. Come back up, lift your chest in Virabhadrasana 1. Let's go ahead and twist. Straighten that left leg. And come back to the middle of your mat. Bring the hands in prayer. All right, we're going to perform that same sequence again. Let's start in chair. So let's sit back over those heels. Keep your knees together. Bring those arms up in the air. Don't rest the knees. We're just keeping them in alignment. Don't squeeze those. Lifting the chest up, floating the chest over your thighs. And on the exhale, fold. Drop all the way down. Just hang there. Slow your breaths. Come back up. Take those arms in the air. Step back with your left foot and make sure your right heel now is facing the instep of your left foot. Your toes are all turned to the front of the room. Drop the shoulders down, lift the chest in Virabhadrasana 1. Look up. Then we're going to bring those arms out. Stretch the chest and the shoulders, looking upward. Bend your right knee and bring that right shoulder down onto your right knee as you bring the arms up and over your shoulders there. Now straighten that right leg. Continue pulling the arms up and over your shoulders. And then when you can, drop the arms down to the mat. Keep pulling back into that right hip. And we're going to keep that right hand on the mat. Open that left hip in the air. And turn to the left in Uttiti Trikonasana. Look up into your left hand. Open the chest as much as you can. On the exhale, fold down. Look at your right leg. Pull back into the right hip. Bring the nose into your knee. And again, open the chest. Look up into your left hand. Stacking the shoulders. But most importantly, really pulling the crown of your head over that right foot. Now we're going to bend that right knee. Come up into Virabhadrasana 2. Look back over your left shoulder. Stretch the arms out. Now airplane the arms around. Start to come off your left heel. And as you pull forward, we're leading with the crown of your head. You can keep those arms out to the side. Bring those hands in prayer. And as you pull forward, see how you can extend. Pushing back through that left heel. Pulling the arms forward. Straight and long. 2 more deep breaths in Virabhadrasana 3. Then we're going to step back. Once again, in Virabhadrasana 1, lift your chest in the air. Twist to the right side of the room. And come back to center. Samastihiti. All right, another pose that helps us with balance, and that was a nice sequence where we're using control and we're continually lengthening, axle extending, and also pulling through the crown of your head, even in our triangle, while twisting the spine. Keeping the spine in mind with every movement. Well, now we're going to try a little balance. Remember, balance is about stacking the head appropriately over the shoulders as well, but it's about really strengthening each leg to support the rest of our body. So we're going to open the right hip, and I suggest that you start low if you've never participated in yoga. Your heel should be on your ankle or on the calf. So we'll start on the calf here. And we'll start with our hands in prayer. A nice place to start, pushing that left thigh over to the right. We're going to lift the arms up and just spread our branches in the air, lifting the chest up high but keeping the shoulders back. Deep breath as you lift that chest a little higher. Now we're going to step back and turn. Bring the arms behind you and press against your buttocks to press the thigh bones forward. Allow those shoulders to start to fall back over the hips as you lift the rib cage upward. Look at the ceiling, lifting the chest there, then start to pull that chest forward and start to drop down. Now look at your toes. Turn your toes to the center. Bring your hands down and slowly start to pull the crown of your head forward first. Take the tailbone in the air. Drop the belly down. Lift your tailbone up. Separate those sitting bones. And then lower the head and chest down. Walking those hands underneath and pulling that head towards the mat. Stretching all the way down. Now we're going to turn back to the front of the mat. And this time we're going to step that left foot back and hover the mat in plank. Once again, tractioning the spine, pulling the crown of your head over the front end of your mat, feeling the cervical spine as well as the thoracic spine, stretching forward and back. Stabilize the body here. Now drop the head and pick it up. See how that feels. Now pull the head straight out. Now drop to the knees. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, turn your hands up. Give your wrists a little break. Sit back over your heels and stretch out the back. Bring your hands onto the back of the shoulders. And return the hands to the mat. Splay those fingers wide. Curl your toes under. Pull those hips in the air. And keep your abs as tight as you can as you pull your weight back into the heels. Let your head drop. Stretching the back. Heels come down. Hold there and breathe. Two more deep breaths as we stretch that spine. Now let's step forward with our right foot, step forward with our left, come back up to tall mountain. Bring your hands in prayer and let's open that left hip, and we'll also do our tree pose on this side. So transfer your weight onto your right leg, lift the right kneecap up, bring that left leg over to the right calf, stay steady. When you're able, bring the arms in the air. And just hold there. Deepen your breaths as you rotate that hip out. And now we're going to step that left foot back. Bring those hands on the buttocks once again. Pushing forward. Allow the chest to rise up. If you feel you can walk your hands below the buttocks. Look up in the air. Lift your chest there. Pull your elbows in. Deep breath. Come back up. And now turn your toes inward. Take your tailbone up in the air. Drop your hands there. Continue lifting your tailbone as you pull forward. Lifting up. Lower that head and chest down. Let your head walk your hands under your hips if you can. Continue pulling the head down, stretching the back and the hamstrings. Now turn back to the front of the mat. Step back with your right foot. Hover the mat in plank. Once again, traction that spine, stretching out, creating more good space for all the blood flow and oxygen that you're breathing in. Continue those breaths. Now this time I want you to drop onto the outside of your left foot and sweep the right arm up in the air. Look there. Still pulling the crown of the head forward. Return to the mat. Come over to the outside of your right foot. Reach up with your left arm. Stretching up as high as you can. Keep the hips away from the mat. Stay there and breathe. Then return to the mat. Hold there. Come down on the knees. Sit back over your heels. Turn your palms up and bring those hands to the shoulders. And bring those hands back. Let's lift those hips, curl your toes here, and pull to Adho Mukha Savasana, downward facing dog. Stay there and breathe. Now step forward, left and right. Come back up, Samastihiti. Now before we take it to the mat, I want to come over here and we'll turn to the side here. When we sit on a chair, is this what we do? Sometimes this feels like it would be more comfortable. But here, our tailbone is tucked, our back is rounded, our shoulders are forward, and if we lean forward, our head really takes our shoulders forward as well. So if you're on a stool, you want to make sure that you're anchored on your sitting bones, and then let your belly come forward. Don't worry about keeping your abs really tight. You're drawing your navel into your spine, which will keep your abs engaged, and then let your arms fall from your shoulders. So there you're going to find much better posture there. Then you can pull your head back just a little bit, and here's your good seated posture. All right, let's take it to the mat. Let's have a seat. And what you can do from a seated position to help your posture is really engage your back muscles and your ab muscles, your core muscles. So to practice that, we're going to be sitting in a cross-legged position, our right leg in front of our left, and we're going to bring the arms all the way up in the air. Now, just sitting in this position may cause some of you to start to round the shoulders. And that's because of your back. So I'm going to turn to the side here, and you can see my back muscles caving. If you can, put your hands down and first think about your back muscles. Lift your chest up in the air, engage those back muscles. Then just take the left arm up, keep the right arm down, and bring the right arm up, keeping the left arm down. Anchor into those sitting bones. Now give it a try. See if you can bring both arms up again. Lift that chest up high. Now we're going to grab those big toes and try to bring those legs up and slowly out to the side. Pull the shoulders back. Flex your feet and lift your chest up in the air. Another good postural exercise. Lifting the rib cage up, pushing the heels up, pulling your shoulders back. And then we're going to put the left leg in front of the right. Sit up tall, and let's do that same exercise. Left hand down, right arm is up. Lift your chest up high. Exhale and reach. Deep breath in. Exhale, reach to the floor. Deep breath in. And see if you can bring both arms up. Barely perched on your legs. Lift your chest in the air. And now on the exhale, grab your toes once again. And here we go. Pushing outward and upward with your heels. Lift your chest in the air. Hold on to that. Pulling back with the balls of your feet. Pushing up with your toes. Moving back and forth with the balls of your feet and toes. Stretching up to the ceiling here. Keep the shoulders back. Look up. Now bring your heels together. Slide your feet forward and just bring your elbows over your shins and let your head come down. Let's bring those knees together. All right, so another way to improve your posture is to improve, again, the strength of your core. So we worked on the transverse abdominis when we were in our plank position. We just worked on both the erector spinae muscles and the transverse abdominis in this position. Now we're going to work on the rectus abdominis muscle fibers. So we're going to round out the back and tuck your tailbone this time. Focus on the core. We're going to lift that left foot off the floor, and then we're going to lift the right leg. Focus on the core. If you can, both hands on the floor and lift both legs up. And those of you that really feel like you can handle it, bring both arms out. And this is called Ardha Navasana, or half boat pose in yoga. So remember this if you really want a good ab workout, and you can hold this for at least 30 seconds to a minute. So today we have limited time, so I do have to let you come down and finish in Savasana, because you do need to relax all the muscles we work so hard at strengthening and lengthening. So let's come down into the mat slowly. And at this time, I want you to place your feet straight down from your hips and shoulders. Move your feet around in both directions. And we're going to move into Savasana. But I want to thank you for watching Yoga with Cynthia. Until next time, namaste. Bring the arms at your side and just let your head rest and start those deep breaths in and out through the nose. Quiet your mind and relax your face.